visit, fixing tech with glee. Old gadgets, new life, he's the chosen one. Every broken circuit, he's gonna get it done. From vintage TVs to your old cassette, with a trusty soldering iron, there's no regret. Turning back the clock, making them shine. Rolling Titus magic, it's simply divine. Hey, like and subscribe. Join the crew, Rolling TARDIS on YouTube. He's waiting for you. 16-year-old electronics, bringing them back. Zero in now, you're on the right track. He's got the flow, he's got the style. Every DIY hack makes it all worthwhile. Capacitors dancing, resistors in line. With a grin on his face, he's crossing the tide. From video games to the stereo's beat, Rolling TARDIS brings the fix, can't accept defeat. Watch him unravel, watch him restore. Every click and pop, you're gonna want more. Hey, like and subscribe. Join the crew, Rolling TARDIS on YouTube. He's waiting for you. Fixing your old electronics, bringing them back. Tune in now, you're on the right track. So gather round, folk, it's more than a show. It's a journey through time, come on, let's go. With every episode, the wonders unfold. Rolling TARDIS, a story to be told. No broken dreams in his workshop space, just a passion for fixing a welcoming place. Each step of the way, you'll learn something new. From repairing a lamp to a classic Atari 2. With a twist of his wrench and a turn of the dial, you'll be flipping through channels in no time, we'll smile. Throw your hands up, it's a community vibe. Kneel that electric pulse, feel that old tribe. Get your gear ready, let's spark up the chat. Rolling TARDIS is the name, remember that. Hey, like and subscribe. Join the crew, Rolling TARDIS on YouTube. He's waiting for you, fixing your old electronics, bringing them back. Tune in now, you're on the right track. So if you got gadgets that need a good home, Rolling TARDIS is the place, and don't need to roam. If ever you fix, you'll feel the blast. Join the journey now, let's make tech last.
Okay, we're back for another stream. Don't see that the friggin' picture's small. I have no idea what I did to shrink it. I have no idea. Something changed when I put the PLD meter on, so I don't know what happened. Probably gonna have to reset this whole OBS thing and start from scratch probably, which will suck. So more than likely there ain't nobody around that will that knows OBS that says you got to change your one setting here to bring your picture back to full picture. So I don't know. I have no idea what happened to the original picture. Hi Pete, how's Pete? Probably one of them things I'll have to search Google and YouTube to see what the hell I did. But anyway, always something with OBS. It's either the picture. You need a big TV. Yeah, you need a bigger TV to watch me with a bigger picture. Yeah, it's one of the weird things that where, I don't know, OBS just doesn't fix its little issues like the audio and the video sync. Because I know as the hour or whatever I go on, it gets desynced, which is annoying, which I don't understand why it does that. I guess it's just one of them things where you got video source coming in one port and audio source coming in a different port, and it just loses the sync. So, one of them weird things. So anyway, we'll get on to it. And, of course, hello again to Pete. So, stream is about the underhood work light. So I have had many, as you've seen in my friggin' previous videos. I got many torches, many different kind of lights, and this, that, and the other thing, stick lights, and whatever else. I mean, I started with the flashlights, the mag lights, and the common little China Pride lights and stuff like that. And then one of my very first stick lights was this lightsaber stick light. Yeah, it's the old school with however many of LEDs in it. And it's all, I mean, it doesn't even compare to today's stuff. It's okay. One of my first ones. It was back, I don't know how many years ago, maybe 10, 15 years ago. I resold this thing, and, it still works. It's still hanging around here. Then I upgraded to, different, better lights and stuff like that. Got this little guy, magnetic base. And then you can just turn the light on. I don't know how many lumens this thing is, but as you can see, it's a little bit better than the individual LEDs. Stuff like that. I think it's like maybe 800 lumens or something like that. Got this off of Amazon. What is this thing? Can't even tell what it is. Or Home Life. Yeah, that's definitely a China thing. But what I don't have is one of them big suckers. The ones that go underneath one of the mechanics, they clamp it to your underside of your hood and stuff like that. I don't have one of them. So, trying to get that thing to stay, and it don't want to stay, and I'll stay. And then the endless battle of the tilted floor. So, on the jungle site, I ordered one. So I try to order the best one that you can find with the highest lumens anyway. And this one's not the absolute highest in lumens, but it's only within, a couple hundred. Nice shirt. You like my shirt? I finally finished it. And I got to show off my other shirt that I made that I was talking about, I don't know how many weeks ago, back in July. I finally finished that. I have been wearing it. And I get a lot of compliments on that one. That's for sure. So we'll unbox this. Of course, at the top of the box is the destruction manuals. So the specifications, so this is the AA LEDs or AA LEDs or however you want to pronounce it. Supposedly it's 10 watts, aluminum plus ABS, DC 5 volts, 2 amps. It's supposed to have a 5200 milliamp hour battery in it. Charging time, 4.2 hours. That's kind of lame. Of course, the charging port is Type-C. It's supposed to be IP20, so you're definitely not going to go throw it in your pool for a wannabe pool light. And it's just a basic, everyday, probably most common. It's supposed to be 6500K, and it's got 40 SMD LEDs in it. So it's got several different mounts on here. Of course, the clamps for the underhood, and it's got the magnetic kind. It's got the hidden hooks, and it's quite big. I think it's almost 4 foot tall. Yeah, it's pretty much 4 foot tall. Fully condensed. And this is literally how it comes from Amazon. Not in a pretty sealed box, not taped up. I mean, just as you've seen it, I opened it up right here. So it's a pretty nice little LED light. I think so. I'm curious to see what's in it. To see if it has a little bit more potential or make it a little bit better than what it is. And then on the bottom of the bag here is just a basic USB-C to USB-A cord. I got 900 million of them that I've been cutting apart. So this thing, from the floor, it's got a strong magnet. So this thing is about 51.5 inches tall. That's what the clamps. So it's got the clamps. We got another viewer in here. I don't know what he's saying. XD. I have no idea. Please clarify. You have to be more layman. So it's got the typical, like I said, clamp, and it's got the magnetic kind, and it's got the hook kind. So however you want to mount it, stuff like that. So probably lots of videos of these things on YouTube and stuff like that. So here's the other end, basically the same thing. What's nice about this one, it's got a button on each side. So power button here and a power button there. I've got to make sure I don't jam this thing up in the ceiling fan because that would kind of damage it or screw this thing up. So let's see what it's got for light output. Oh, and then where is it? The one end has the USB charging port. And what's nice about this on the Amazon listing, it says that if you drain this down, you can still plug it in and still have the light working. So that's that. So let's check this out. So there's the light. Wow, it's actually quite impressive. Yeah, we got two people with another person commenting. So that's pretty bright for what it is. Supposed to be 2,000 lumens, but I really don't know because this thing is way too big for my lumen tester. But it's quite bright. It's dazzling, really. So it's supposed to be 3-speed. So it's got a high, low, and of course off. But if you hold the button, this is a stupid feature for this. Why does the stick light of this nature have to have strobe in it? That's stupid. So stuff like that. So let's see. And then as I go back to my other stick light, I got this stick light here that I also got. I don't know. It's supposed to be doesn't say how many lumens. I think these are like 1,500 or something like that. 1,200, something like that. But these are common. I modded this one too. So I put the magnets on the bottom so you can stick it to metal and have it stay wherever you want it. It's also got the hook here, and it's also got a very weak magnet here. But this was a 2-cell. I put a 3-cell 18650s in it. So this one's quite nice, and then it's also got a power bank feature in it. So USB power bank. So this one's got a couple of different modes in it: low, medium, and ultra bright. So that's I think this one might be 2,000 lumens. This is a War Sun. So we'll compare it with supposedly 2,000 lumens of this one and see if we can. So you can see in the background there. I don't think it's quite 2,000 lumens, because you can tell that the hand light is a lot brighter than the stick light. But you got a lot. Oh yeah, this one's got an end light too. That's got a couple of different modes in it. So I don't think it's quite 2,000 lumens. So maybe if you put up all the LEDs all together. Pretend too, it's emergency car. Pretend to be emergency car. Okay. So, not quite 2,000 lumens, but maybe the battery's not 100% charged either, so it's not giving the full output. So, like I said, I don't have one of these, and I got one now. So, let's plug this into a charger and see what it's got for potential for charging. I mean, if you're a mechanic, you're going to use this thing, and more than likely you're going to have it on high, and then eventually it's going to die. I think the thing is rated to run at 3 hours on high and like 6 or 7 hours on low. But it's on Amazon. You can go and look for it as I knock everything over. Typical. I got to work on a mount for my little PLD meter. So, my little PLD meter, I was lucky that I ordered it when I did, because like 2 days after it, all that mailing restriction crap started. So, this charges at 5 volts at 1.75 amps. So, for a 5,200 milliamp hour battery, it's supposed to, like they said, it's supposed to take like 4.5 hours to charge. But you still can plug it in if you got long enough USB cable to still use it. So that's not awful. Not awful, but not good either for today's technology. And sometimes the USB voltage has a little bit of influence on charging USB stuff, I've noticed. So I got my little booster board that actually keeps 5 volts. So you get an extra 100 milliamp hour out of it if you keep the voltage a little higher. So 1.8 amps. I don't think it goes any higher than that. So, not terrible, but not good either. So it could have been a little bit better, especially if somebody's waiting for this thing, I think. But that's just me. I'm kind of picky on charging, so I want stuff to charge fast. Some people have that big argument, oh, it's better to charge slow and this, that. It's like, not today's technology. Especially when you got a dedicated charging circuit that is analyzing the battery all the time. So, yeah, this tariff crap is just a bunch of, it's really a bunch of crap. I mean, it depends on how, like I ordered some stuff from Germany, and they got some kind of declaration where it's not a tariff type item. I don't know how they do it, but I guess in Canada they're doing the same thing. They got a some kind of documentation. If you go through UPS or FedEx or something like that, you can sign or the value of it or something like that, and it can come across the border tariff free and all that other crap. You're okay for Wednesday's post for me. Okay. So I guess Pete's gonna send me something. So my curiosity for this thing, we've seen that get demoed. I want to take this apart and see what's in it, and see if we can improve on maybe what's in it. Maybe we can't, but definitely if it's a 5200 milliamp hour battery, maybe we can improve at least on the battery. So let's open this up and see what it's got for potential. Of course, I'm going to have to be careful that I don't knock too many wires off kilter here, which is easy to do in this room. So let's go over to this end. I put a new mat down so you don't have to look at my disgusting beat up mat anymore. It's so clean. So let's open this up. Probably more than likely in my lifetime, I'm probably not going to use these hooks. So I want to take these off and we'll store them somewhere. So it looks like it's only held on with a couple of screws. So we'll take that off, and it'll make a little bit more room for me to take this apart. Oh, it's only held on with a bungee cord. Oh, that's cool. So that's something that would wear out. Now the next question is, what do I use to hold that in there so it doesn't disappear? Nope, too late. That's okay. We can always fish that back in there, so that's not a big deal. That's not a big deal. That's something that would wear out over time anyway, is that bungee cord. Just from age. Okay. So we'll leave that in there. And we'll save these off to the side. So that doesn't disappear. So that'll make it a little easier to manage here. So let's see, which is the battery side? That's not the battery side. This is the battery side. So it looks like we got 4 screws. And looks like 4 on the front to take this apart, see what's in it, because I'm curious. See what's in it, and I would assume that this green plastic thing has to come off. It looks like it's in the middle of a seam. Okay, there's the seam, so that would have to come off. Oh, it's going nuts. Look out. So let's see, that's the battery side. So we'll see what's in here. Well, there's 2 viewers, so there's 2 of you still here. That's that. And that seam goes to the front here. She's already opening up for us. Yeah, so the feature with this thing is that if you use them clamps that I just took off, you really can't, you're kind of at the mercy of whatever the angle of your hood is at for the direction of light. Even though it's supposed to be like 180 degrees, you know that LEDs are more directional than that. It's going to fire more at the front than the peripheral sides of the light. So the nice part of the magnetic part is that you can rotate the whole light, so you can direct the light to exactly where you want it. So what's nice about the magnet, we can actually keep the screws together. It's actually a quite strong magnet. That takes care of that. That's oh, it comes right apart. Look at that. Oh, look at that. It just falls right apart. That's fantastic. There's our battery pack. So that's pretty cool. So this looks like the LED driver board, and this looks like the charge board. Yep. So that's pretty. This has potential. Of course, in here there is a lot of room. This went like that. So there's plenty of room in there to do stuff. There's the charge board. That went in there. And then this was the hook. And then we got all this real estate in here for battery. So definitely can't put 3 cells in there, but we can definitely improve upon the battery pack. So this is 5200 milliamp hour, so twin 2600s. But I got either 35s or 36s, so we can improve on the milliamp hour. So this is just a regular charge board. It's got all the charging circuitry for the LiPo pack. So this is probably a 2 amp, in simpler terms, a TP4056. So a 2 amp version of it. So it charges at, what was it, 1.8? So 1/9 of 2024. So this is not very old. And then we got our driver board. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 different chips. Probably drives 4 different sections of the LED strip bar. So that's pretty cool. So there's potential there. We can really can't do much about the driver board, but we can improve on the battery pack and maybe a better controller, because I know and I seen, I think the biggest one you can get is a 3 amp. So I'm thinking maybe of getting a 3 amp charge board and then increase the capacity of the battery pack. So let's take a look at the other side to see what we got for real estate on the other side. So this might be an easy something to mod and improve upon. So let's move some stuff out of the way. Because I'll put this all back together, or maybe I'll just leave it apart until I get parts to improve upon this. It's probably more likely what I'll do. Just leave it apart. As long as I don't lose all the screws and stuff like that. So let's see what's on this side. We got a rubber damper here. We'll move that one off to the side too. So we'll do the same thing on this side. And see what we got. Because if we can put a battery pack on this side, and then just fish the wires. Yep. Yeah, so that's the good part of this particular, like I said earlier, this part. If you use the magnets underneath your hood, you can rotate this light 360 degrees. And then if you got a plastic hood, some do, then you can, there's always some kind of holes underneath the hood. And you can still hang it. And you can rotate the hooks. So this is a very versatile light, which still can be improved upon. So I'm going to take this side off so I don't destroy anything. Here's the other side of that rotating hook. Just so that things ain't just dangling around and making it a disaster. So we'll see what's on this side, and then maybe we can double our effects here, which would be really cool. Biggest bonus would be is maybe improving on the capacity of the battery pack, or doubling it, which would be kind of like my goal. And of course, improving on the charging. I think 1.8 amps is kind of lame, especially if I'm going to double the capacity of the battery pack. Don't want to take 10 hours to charge a X amount of milliamp hours. So let's see what's on this side. Of course, we got our button here, which is kind of cool that they included 2 buttons on each side of the light. Of course, we got to pop this green thing off. That side. Take our final 2 screws out to reveal what's on the opposite end. Oh yeah. Yeah, all we got is our little button. That's going to be pretty easy to fix. Whoa. So, looks more than likely, so that's all it is on the other side. It's just the on-off switch for the light. It looks like the whole light slides back and forth. So we got potential there. Does anything hold this on? That's captured pretty good, so I don't want to disturb that polycarbonate. We'll move this out of the way. So we got our light, we got our hardware, and we got our potential here for another battery pack on this side. So we can stick another battery pack in right here. We can do some modifications to this little gusset here to make that fit in there. So we can double our battery capacity and then run some wires. We can run 2 extra wires, actually 4 wires, because probably, yeah, we'll have to have 2 chargers. Yeah. So we'll have to have a set of charge wires and a set of operating wires, and we'll just fish some wires right underneath this light here. Actually, we can take that off too. Slide that light bar right out. Of course, nobody would actually do this if they wanted to. So why would you want to do all that upgrading? Why not? Have a light that runs all day? That just slides off. Let's see. We can unplug this. Then we can slide the whole light out of the way. Of course, I'll take the other side apart. Talk about a teardown, man. That's awesome. Very simple to service or fix or modify. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to modify this sucker. That sucker comes off. All that comes out. So that's our bungee cord. And then our light will just slide right out. Because we'll need to slide this out for rewiring. All we got to do is just follow the wires like that. Of course, that's just the poly tube. So that's going to be cool. Aluminum PCB. So we'll just run some more wires like they got here from one end to the other. So let's see. What do they got here for? I can see the traces. There's ground on the bottom. Okay. So that's easy. So we'll modify that to put additional battery pack in. We'll upgrade the battery pack. So we'll stick my little box of batteries in here. So we got my little box of 18650s. So we'll upgrade the battery pack. And then I got plenty of these. We're farting around. So these are 3500s. So 3500 times 2, actually times 4, because we're going to have a pack on each side in parallel. So that's got some potential. Let's see, what do we got? So 14,000 milliamp hour or 14 amp hour of battery potential with them things. Now, like I said, now the next thing is the charging issue. For because that charging these at 1.8 amps ain't going to be very acceptable. That's for sure. So I was thinking out loud to myself, let's go over to the jungle site. Let's see, where are you? So there's Amazon. Let's see, 3 amp 18650 charge board. Let's see, do I have that here? 3 amp battery boot. No, damn it. See, I gotta find it on this one so I can. What's the name of it? There it is. Some weird name. So, seeing my cursor. WD, WSD, WSD, Mavis, Mavis. You think it would be relevant, but no. There's the 2 amp version. Where's the 3 amp version? How about their store? What do they got? Okay, they only got 211 items. Yeah. I'm trying to find it on this one so that I can bring the desktop out and show you guys. I gotta do all this scrolling to find it. There you are. Okay, that's that. Now we'll go over to the desktop. So there it is. So that is the charge board I'm thinking about. So 4.2 volts, a typical 18650 charger, and it does 3 amps with a USB-C in, but also has the inputs for for wires. So more than likely, what I'll have to do is I'll have to have a regular USB-C like breakout board, right angle, so I can put it inside the handle there, and then feed some short wires to the charge board. So, got quite a bit of 5 stars. So there's only one complaint. Doesn't work with USB-C to USB-C. I have found that in some different areas where if you put it on straight USB like the torches here, like these things, if you try to use, it depends on the torch really. I think it depends on your charger too, where the sometimes USB-C to USB-C does not work for whatever reason. It's kind of weird. Yeah, so this is direct USB-C to USB-C, like that one guy was commenting. Yeah, YouTube just is so wonderful with their notifications. So like on here, it's saying absolutely nothing. Of course, I bet you the audio is a little off now too. So that doesn't work like that. So if you use a regular USB-A to USB-C charge cable, like this little guy here, USB-A, and then it charges. It's one of them friggin' weird things with USB-C. I don't know why certain things are like that, but it is what it is. Because this doesn't even light up. It's one of them bizarre things. One of them weird, bizarre things. I don't know. That's like these bizarre power banks that I showed off in previous videos and stuff like that, where, you know, if you got something that's like 20,000 milliamp hours and the thing only charges at 1.8 amps, and then literally the last 25% of it is only going to charge at less than an amp, that is just so terrible. So that's going to be my plan for the this stick light here. So I'm going to leave all this apart, and hopefully I remember how to put it all back together when I get the parts. So I'm going to order that charge board. I'm going to order, of course I already got it on here, the USB C adapter board, breakout board, that's what it's called. And then it's a 90 degrees, so I can put the I can put that USB-C breakout board where the charge port normally went on the other end. And so that'll fit in there. And then of course the rest of the area, wherever the PCBs were for the for that one particular charge controller board. I think it was that was for the light, and then yeah, I'll just there's plenty of room in here for monkeying around. Probably break off some tabs and stuff like that. We'll make room for probably two of them 3 amp charge boards stacked on top of each other. And then we'll run the wires from one side to the other so that there can be 2 battery packs on either end of this thing. So you got the main end and then the auxiliary end, and they'll kind of balance it a little bit. So instead of having all the weight of a battery pack on this side, you can have a battery pack on both ends and kind of distribute the weight a little bit. That would be pretty cool. Not that anybody would do this crazy thing, because it's kind of a lot of work to modify this. But it's very simple to modify. So like I said, can't really do much about the driver board or anything like that. You probably could put a better driver in it, but you don't want to be overdriving them LEDs, because there's really not much heat sink. I mean, that's the heat sink, really. It's just that aluminum PCB to drive it. And of course, we got our little clicky button. There is another spring floating around here somewhere. I gotta find where that went for the main clicky button. So we'll keep that intact so I don't lose that. Of course, all our screws are on our magnets. So what else is going on in the world of Australia? Keep them screws with that. There's that one spring. I don't know where the other one went. Probably somewhere I will never find it. I don't think it flew on the floor. I didn't hear it. Pick stuff up. So there. So that's our plan. We'll get some bits. Of course, with let's see. Less than $25 to modify it, plus the batteries. So, other than the time to mess around with it, that's not really a bad upgrade. It's supposed to be spring and it's raining like mad. Well, we're actually in a drought up here currently. We haven't had enough rain up here, and it was a wet spring. And then it dried right out in May, June, July, August, September. So we're kind of in a hole a little bit for rainfall. We're actually, of course, we just come and gone through Labor Day weekend and stuff like that. And in typical fashion, the big lake up here, which everybody hangs out, well, not everybody, but the local area, within probably 50 miles or so. Everybody hangs out at the, or those who choose, they go to the Great Sacandaga Lake. And for the residents, of course, they know the lake like the back of their hand, and where you can go, where you can't go. But the biggest issue is every year is basically around August and stuff like that, they start draining the lake. So the lake is not really a natural lake, it's a man-made lake. And it's used for the Hudson River Black River division. And what it does is it supplies fresh water down the Hudson. So the people who draw water out of the Hudson don't get salt water from the Atlantic. So that is the purpose of the lake, is to keep pushing the salt water, to keep the salt water from backing up into the Hudson River. So as a kind of like a benefit, it's a lake that everybody can boat on and fish in, and for those who live around the lake, it's lakefront property and stuff like that. But for the people who have a boat, and of course, depending on where you are around that lake, and depending on how quickly the water drains in August, is how quickly you need to get your boat out of the water, because you won't be able to use your local dock or loading ramp to get your boat out, because you'll have to go out so many feet in the mud to go get your boat back on your trailer. So typical fashion, this was another year where around Labor Day, the water is getting so low where people can't get their boat out of the water, and they got to go to a select boat ramp to get their boat out. And more than likely, it's one of them ones where you have to pay to trailer your boat out. So one of them weird things. And since we didn't have a lot of rain during the summertime, the lake is probably extra low. I haven't been up there in 2 years, so I can just imagine that it's quite low. Because I know in certain areas it'll be right up to the highway. If it's a wet winter through the spring, the lake will be literally right at almost like a foot below the roadway or highway, one of the highways anyway. And then as the year progresses, it goes down to almost nothing. For the boaters anyway, for the residents, they don't care. Because they got them floating docks and this and that and the other thing. So that's our little update for the weather and stuff like that. They predict a nasty winter up here, where a lot of snow for the Northeast. Snow, cold, repeat. Snow, cold, repeat. Snow, cold. We'll see if it holds out. I don't know. A lot of weather guessing and stuff like that. So let me go get my before we end it here, because we already know what we're going to do. I don't know, whenever I get the parts, maybe next week, we'll modify this thing. So we'll put 2 upgraded battery packs in. We'll put 2 3-amp charge boards in there. We'll shoehorn it into these handles, and then we'll put it back together. And of course, I'll have to do a long duration run off camera to see how long it takes to charge 14 amp hours, and then see how long it runs on high power. So it's supposed to run 3.5 hours on high with one 5200 milliamp hour pack. So it might run maybe 8 hours. I don't know. So let me go get my shirt that I just recently completed. And after I completed that, I completed this one. So at first, all I had was the YouTube and rolling TARDIS, and then I put my American flag on, and then my particular vehicle of choice, and on the back is an eagle. So I'll be right back with that shirt. So you'll hear me go wander running over there. So I had in one of the July live streams where I showed you all the printouts of what I was planning on doing, and I did that as I was planning on. So here's the front of the shirt. Of course, I put the USA on. 250 years with the 1776. With the eagle landing on the U. So that's pretty awesome. And then I put in typical fashion, I put the flag on the left shoulder, left sleeve. And then I got that Liberty Bell, that red, white, and blue Liberty Bell on the right sleeve. And then on the back, the American Eagle with the flag in the background, and of course the America established 1776. And then on the sides, I got the fireworks on the sides. So this took many hours to complete. Not so much the front, sides, the sleeves, and stuff like that. That took some time. This sucker right here in the back, this right here, just this part, over almost 4 hours to embroider. 4 hours I had to sit at the machine and change threads. Even though there's not a lot of colors in there, it's one of them things where you're trying to print a picture, so you got to have your base colors and your accent colors on top. And sometimes some of the stitches were only like 10 or so to do certain aspects of this thing. It's pretty cool. I got a lot of compliments on this one. So, very, very cool for America's 250th birthday next year. On July 4th, 2026 will be America's 250th year of independence. So, everybody asked me, it's like, what else are you going to do? I do plan on doing a long sleeve shirt, a hoodie, a sweatshirt, and stuff like that. So that's the front. And then the American flag. On the left sleeve, the right sleeve, the sides of the shirt. So that's supposed to be a firework. Of course, there's one on each side. And then the back. Yeah, this one took a long time. It's one of them deals where I wish I had a multi-needle machine and it could have just done that automatically. And it would probably would have cut about an hour and a half time to off the labor time for that. 'Cause that's detail, that back one. If I were to, when I do my other ones, this is probably going to be the only one that I do that on. I think the other ones I do, I'm just going to put a little bit more simpler eagle on the back. Not this particular eagle, not that one, but a different one that's more spread out. Just because of the time, I don't want to. It's a lot of time. I mean, that would, if I were to do 3 more, that's 4, 8, 12. That's another 12 hours of work. And like, I don't want to do that. I mean, it's cool, but not for the time that it takes to do it. It's just, you need a multi-needle machine, but that's also big time bucks. I think a 6 or 10, I think I would need at least a 10 needle machine for that particular one to make that so you didn't have to constantly change the thread. I think it was like 50 times or something like that. It was nuts. And on top of that, a multi-needle machine has a bigger platform. I could have done this one all in one shot. And then just have to move the machine for that one. Move the hoop. That one could have been done. But big machine, big multi-needle machine is thousands of dollars. I'm talking at least, if I would take I probably would have to change brands of machines, because a Brother machine, which would be my preferred one, I think it's like $10,000 to $16,000 or something like that for a 10 needle machine. That's quite expensive. But it would have a bigger stitching area, and it would be easier to do like long sleeves and sleeves itself. So my machine is a flat bed machine, so you got to figure that it looks like a regular sewing machine, but you got to figure that if you're going to do something like this, you got to have it in. Of course, it's got to be in a hoop. It's just one of them things, but you got to lay it flat on the machine. Lay it flat on the machine so you can figure that you got this hoop stretching this out like this. Then you got it laying flat against the machine. But then you got to do something about the underside, because you got to have access to the bottom of whatever you're stitching. So you got to take the other part of the sleeve and you got to tuck it under. And sometimes it's quite a hassle, depending on what you do to get that to stitch. So that's why I try to get the images as low on the sleeve as possible, so you can tuck that fabric underneath of it. So I have done it where even during the operation of the machine, the fabric would get back underneath of it, and then you would stitch it shut, and then you ruin the shirt, because you can't unstitch an embroidery. It's impossible. You end up ruining the shirt. You have to start over. So, almost 8 hours of work and you would have to throw it away, because it ain't no good unless you have a sleeveless. So the more expensive machine literally has a tube that sticks out the front of the machine. So instead of a flatbed, you got what they call a monotube. So a monotube, your bobbin, which is what's underneath a flatbed, you got a monotube that has the bobbin in it, so that the top thread can catch the bobbin thread. So this is literally about the size of a they call it a mono arm machine. So you slip everything on top. So something like this, like a monotube, when you set the machine up, of course you got your garment hooped just like a flatbed. And then when you stick it in the machine, it's literally just like that. You ain't got to worry about this part getting hung up, stitched together, or if it comes in contact, starts jacking the hoop up, sometimes you can break a needle. And then you got to basically go to the machine, back up X amount of stitches before you realize it's screwed up, and then start that part over again. But with a monotube, you can just see how much easier it would be to do embroidery, because you got all that room. And of course, trying to do smaller stuff, you do like small shirts and stuff like that, then it makes it so much easier. But it's a lot of money. So if I were to use, if I were to go to Brother Machine, it'd be, $10,000 to $16,000. Or if I did like a alternate brands, I think it's like $6,000. But you're still talking thousands of dollars for, a hobbyist. Just one of them things. I mean, if I were to do it on a like a business, then it'd be, different. Yeah, literally. I mean, it's just that's the way my machine is up. You gotta hoop the thread, so you can just imagine a hoop that what I use is they call it floating. So what you do is you put your hoop down, you put your stabilizer down, and the stabilizer is that stuff that you see poking out the edges. So that white, that's the stabilizer. That's to keep the fabric to reduce the puckering. Because sometimes something that's really intricate like that can pucker the fabric, and it looks bad. So you hoop your stabilizer on, and then you take a spray adhesive, a temporary adhesive, spray it on there, do a little spritz on the underneath of the garment, and you literally just glue it to that hoop, and then you put it in the machine. Some people clamp it with the hoop, but it's a hassle. It's easier just to, they call it, float. And you can do the same thing with the bigger machines and stuff like that. It just saves time and hassle, because sometimes you get what they call hoop burn, because what you're doing is you're sandwiching the two plastic hoops together, and you get like a rim. You'll see it when you unhoop it. You'll get like a rim, kind of like, they call it like a burn mark, kind of like when you rub something very fast across like low pile carpet. You get that like streak of like semi melted plastic and stuff like that. Yeah, lots of stitches. I think this was like 60,000 stitches, something like that. And this was like 20 or 30,000 stitches. Same thing with the other flag. And of course, this little guy, lots and lots and lots of stitches. I think the machine has over 2.5 million stitches on the counter. It's a lot of stitches. You can just imagine how many times that thing has gone up and down. And it's still, I don't know what they considered a machine that is wore out. How many millions of stitches a machine goes through. And you can imagine just a commercial machine, what that goes through. Doing it every day for people. Nuts. I mean, even something simple like this, you know, is a lot of stitches. Sometimes, and that's the thing with my machine, is you got to babysit the machine, because something like this, especially the lettering. I mean, sometimes it'll go good and real good, and then it starts screwing up, and then it'll start bunching up the thread or breaks a needle and then stuff like that. You gotta watch it. You gotta watch it every minute, depending on how complex it is. Like I'm trying to figure out what I did was where you could actually walk away from the machine for a length of time. I think my other American flag. This one's a different file, but it would do all the white. It would do the whole rectangle minus the blue field in white, and you could walk away from the machine for about 20 minutes, and then you had to be back at it. So it did the rest of the stitching and stuff like that. So with that, of course, I already did my planning here, so we'll get that underway, and then I think next weekend, I think I got another light coming that is similar to this one. Actually, it's almost exactly like this. I just happened to stumble across it. So probably next Saturday or Sunday, looks just like this one. The only difference is that it articulates in the middle, and it uses a DeWalt battery. So a 20 volt version of this one. It's supposed to be 2,000 lumens, just like this one. I wonder if there's any difference between a light that's 2,000 lumens on 4.2 volts compared to 2,000 lumens on 20 volts. That'll be interesting. Just one of them weird things where I was when I was shopping for this thing that's now in pieces, I just happened to stumble on that, and I'm like, I don't mind that off-brand stuff for the DeWalt battery packs, because one, I got a few DeWalt tools, but I don't want to spend the money for DeWalt battery packs, because that is the big costly factor of DeWalt tools, is the damn battery pack, because you're buying their brand, and it's, I think, a 20-volt pack is like 80 bucks or something like that, $60 to $80. It's nuts. And it depends on how big it is. Either a 4 amp hour, a 5 amp hour, or the bigger ones that has the combo 60 volt version. I think that's 12 amp hour. Big battery pack, but big money. I think a big battery pack, a big 12 amp hour battery packs, I think is like $200 or $300. You can get, I think, 2 off-brand ones, 60 volt battery packs for the same price. So, of course, I got the 5 amp hour to 8, I think 8 amp hour battery packs. They're fairly good, as long as you don't abuse them. But I've had to do a couple cell changes on a couple of them. I think 2 or 3 battery packs. I had to go inside, see which cell went bad, pluck it out, put another one in, and battery pack's good to go again. That's just one of the things with battery packs, with off-brand. You don't know how. You ain't gonna get the quality cells. You ain't gonna get the top of the line stuff in a DeWalt pack compared to an off-brand pack. But as long as they run for a little bit that I do, I don't mind. And I don't mind getting the off-brand tools that run off of DeWalt battery packs. Cause I got that that little air inflator, and then I got that work light, and then this heat gun that runs off of DeWalt battery packs. So, you know, for a hobbyist or homeowner, the off-brand wannabe DeWalt tools is not bad. I can't complain. I haven't had one fail. And I beat the living crap out of that inflator. I had to use that quite often, because now that my tires on my vehicle are 10 years old, I got the dry rot, I got the bead leaks, I got this, that, and the other thing. I did seal them with a tire sealant, and it's helped, but I still lose air for every 3 weeks now instead of every couple of days. So this is the stuff I use for the tires to seal them up, and not worried about punctures. This was formulated for bead sealers, because I do have bead leaks. Before I put this stuff on them, I pump them up, put the soapy water around the beads, and you can see them bubbling away. So, got that typical aluminum rubber corrosion crap. Some would say, well, why don't you just have the tires dismounted and resealed? Well, here's the problem. I've done this in the past on a 2005. I got a 2015 now. My 2005, when that was 8 years old, the tires were doing the same thing, bead leaks. So I bought new tires for that. You know, and the guy said that it's just up the street. I says, can you change the tires for me? Because I got bead leaks and this, that, and the other thing. So yeah, sure. So when he took the tires off, he's like, these tires are not that bad. I mean, tread-wise. I says, they're almost 10 years old. The rubber's getting hard, and they're starting to dry rot and crack and bead leaks. So I bought the tires off one of them mail sites, had them delivered, brought them up to the garage. But he says, it's a shame these tires are bad, because the tread on them is still good. You still get 3 or 4 years out of it with the tread for what little driving you do. But he says when he dismounted them, he says that was the problem. I mean, if you were to bring the tires to me and have the beads resealed, I would have ruined the tires anyway, because by the time I got my machine in there to dismount it, the rubber ripped off the tire and stuck to the aluminum wheel. So the tire would have been shot anyway. You'd never been able to reseal it. So that would have been the same issue with the current vehicle I have, with the tire situation I have now. If they were trying to dismount the tires, it probably ripped the rubber off the aluminum rim and you'd still end up getting new tires anyway. So just one of them bizarre things. So, oh, I've been rambling on for an hour and 20 minutes of what we're going to do for next week and what I'm going to show off for next week and stuff like that. So I guess we will end it here. We had 2 regular viewers, 8 uniques, and of course Pete is the long haul here. He stayed for the whole episode. So for those who stayed and watched for the entire duration, thanks for watching. Pete, thanks for joining me, as you always do. We had our second viewer that left a quick comment, and then 8 unique viewers that chose not to hang around long. So with that, for those who watched the replay, thanks for watching. Make sure you do all that YouTube crap of comment, rate, and subscribe. Most don't. Most just watch and move on. But we'll do it again next week. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you later. Bye, Pete.
Rolling through the channels, what do I see? A time machine wizard fixing tech with glee. Old gadgets, new life, he's the chosen one. Every broken circuit, he's gonna get it done. From vintage TVs to your old cassette, with the trusty soldering iron, there's no regrets. Turning back the clock, making them shine. Rolling TARDIS magic is simply divine. Hey, like and subscribe, join the crew. Rolling TARDIS on YouTube, he's waiting for you. Fixing your old electronics, bringing them back. Tune in now, you're on the right track. He's got the flow, he's got the style. Every DIY hack makes it all worthwhile. Capacitors dancing, resistor in line. With the grin on his face, he's crossing the tide. From video games to the stereo's beat, Rolling TARDIS brings the fix, can't accept defeat. Watch him unravel, watch him restore. Every click and pop, you're gonna want more. Hey, like and subscribe, join the crew. Rolling TARDIS on YouTube, he's waiting for you. Fixing your old electronics, bringing them back. Tune in now, you're on the mic track. So gather round, folks, it's more than a show. It's a journey through time. Come on, let's go. With every episode, the wonders unfold. Rolling TARDIS, a story to be told. No broken dreams in his workshop space, just a passion for fixing, a welcoming place. Each step of the way, you'll learn something new. From repairing a lamp to a classic Atari 2. With the twist of his wrench and a turn of the dial, you'll be flipping through channels in no time. Will smile, throw your hands up, it's a community vibe. Feel that electric pulse, feel that old tribe. Get your gear ready, let's spark up the chat. Rolling TARDIS is the name, remember that. Hey, like and subscribe, join the crew. Rolling TARDIS on YouTube, he's waiting for you. Fixing your old electronics, rolling them back. Tune in now, you're on the right track. So if you've got gadgets that need a good home, Rolling TARDIS is the place, no need to roll. With every new fix, you'll feel the blast. Join the journey now, let's make tech last.